And you're thinking about sitting out? I'm not. But, you know, Cousin Pookie might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family, at a church, who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable. That's not, this shouldn't even be a question.
Yeah, you heard him. We got to put things into context before we get to conversation. Like, you know, when you're dealing with an LGBTQ sassy and moist tether, such as Barack Hussein Obama, you have to understand the words can only go but so far. You understand? So he's out here publicly calling out not just the black community, but black men within the community in particular. And these were the disparaging words which he had for them. He was basically suggesting that their ideal of strength is being misinformed, and they are now leaning towards Trump. He called out black men in particular. And they've been doing this play for the last few weeks or so between himself, Tragic Johnson, Deceived Steve Harvey, D. Hale Hewley, working for those devilish blue Democrats, and a long list of others such as Uncle Lizard Lot Mouth Luke, 3 L's, 1 M, Lizard Lot Mouth Luke. And we're going to show all these characters, which I just made mention, will tie into the video in due time. But you hear what Obama is saying, what he's suggesting. He's saying he finds a problem with this, and saying that this type of choice between Kamala and Trump should be a no-brainer. But in fact, I think he's lost his brains. I think the book that he wrote called Audacity to Hope should be called Audacity to Dope. And his veins, his blood should be immediately checked for fentanyl and other illegal narcotic substances. Because the foolishness which he spewed out of his mouth, I find not to be just abominable, I find it to be abominable. So let's get right on into it. He found it to be somewhat aggravating and disrespectful that people were considering supporting someone other than the brown Brahmin Bedouins Kamala Harris VP. I find it abominable, disrespectful, and disgusting that you are out here calling on men of my lineage, my ancestral line within this country, although, sir, you are nothing or not a part of that lineage. How can you call out black Americans who are of the lineage of freedmen within America? That's their lineage. Freedmen. Your ancestors did not pour blood into the soil of war and at the conception nor at the building of America. You should watch your tether mouth, sir. But in fact, no one has properly checked you, but in time you will be checked. This is not 10 years ago. People have caught up. They ask questions now. They're taking paperwork. They're asking themselves, where exactly are you from and who do you exactly represent? Just because you have melanin in your skin does not mean that you are for us nor represent us. Barack Hussein Obama is a perfect example of that. That's why he's called the LGBTQ tether, because during his time as administration, he spent most of it neglecting Black America while exalting that minority group up and over above Black America. Remember the Dave Chappelle skit? He said, in the game of Olympic oppression, I never thought that I would see the gay community surpass the Black one, but that was prompted and promoted greatly by so-called Black Barack Hussein Obama. That's how that went down. So now he's coming back 10 years later almost, empty-handed, no tangibles, no reparation conversation, a possible study, which is ridiculous, no tangibles, no protective bills, and he's demanding, empty-handed and demanding. You're like a estranged father who we ain't seen in like 10 years, 15 years, and now you're knocking on the door. I'm your dad. Empty-handed and demanding. And then the rhetoric coming from these Democratic shills and shields, most of them are Rolando Martinez, most of them are very sassy and zesty, threatening Black men to be back on the Democratic plantation by Sunday sundown. I pass, sir. Okay? I completely pass. And let me say this too. Every Democratic plantation essentially is a Diddy party. Mm-hmm.
And if you can't spend 15 minutes on deciding what your community is going to look like and what your country is going to look like, then you don't have any cause to complain.
He making sense. That's what we need. We need people to make sense. We applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating. But I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that. But I'm just so cool.
We wearing a t-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like me.
When we know that whole vote or die thing was based upon the Democrats gassing Diddy to go out there to do what he was doing and to say what he was saying. We'll talk more about Diddy later on. I want to stay on this hoe right now. So he's out here telling us, people who would have two different distinct lineages, and you're telling me what I should do was best for my lineage, although the woman who you are promoting is trying to gentrify and to disintegrate my lineage through the illegal immigration invasion, something you will never discuss publicly. Something that it was just brought mention of on the ABC interview just a few days ago.
And solutions are at hand. And from day one, literally, we have been offering solutions.
What I was asking was it a mistake to kind of allow that flood to happen in the first place?
I think the policies that we have been proposing are about fixing a problem, not promoting a problem. Okay?
But the numbers did quadruple.
He didn't grind her up. He asked her just a few questions, the 60 Minutes interviewer. He asked her some simple questions. She could not get around them. The illegal immigration invasion seemingly is there to not just gentrify, is there to gentrify Black Americans almost into disintegration. And because people like Kamala and Obama, because they don't share the lineage and the ancestral line of these Black Americans, they essentially don't care about reparations. They don't care what happens to them. We can all get mixed up. That lineage can be erased. And now the debt, the blood debt, which is due, now is wiped and washed clean. Are you following me? This is how they're thinking about this. Not just along the lines of voting and bringing the migrants in to prop them up for voting. It's also an economic component to it as well. That economic component is the R word. Okay, now let's fight back. Let's go. Let's get into it. The reason why we think that Kamala is going to lose, in all honesty, is because of the illegal immigration invasion, because of her not securing the border. The economy is horrible. The inflation is at an all-time high, and housing is still unaffordable. And on top of that, you're giving these migrants economic advantages over the already citizens. And the big debacle was that hurricane, which just took place just this last week. The hurricane and her big, huge gaffe on that interview. She was like, it's a live interview. Shh. I'm making this up. She literally was like,
the Peace River, some of these type of traditional places that can flood, we really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you.
And then they began to feed her questions, allegedly through her earpiece, as they did in the debate with Trump. Not going there right now. Not going there right now. But the fact that you're feeding immigrants and there's no FEMA money, that is also an Obama nation, okay? That's also an Obama nation. No FEMA money, but you're feeding illegal migrants. Got you. And you're having to beat her on a Tuesday or Wednesday with someone. I got you. Let's move on. That's why but the reason why she's going to lose is because it's these words out here by Obama. See, I never thought Obama was going to come back to the scene. But then I realized criminals, they do come back to the scene of their crime. And Obama is right back there in the black community at the scene of his political crime of benign neglect. And so he returned back to the scene of a crime. But we have some juice for him today. Sir, aside from all that lineage talk, and you are not a part of my lineage, you are not a part of my group, but yet you're calling my group out, aside from all that, I can deal with that. But one thing I'm not going to deal with is the fact that you murdered, and I stand on this one, you murdered. You pushed the button to okay the murder of Muammar Gaddafi. I call Barack a tether because of his anti-black reparations stance and his assassination of the black Muammar Gaddafi, who was trying to create a galvanized Africa, the United States of Africa, under the gold dinar, because he had enough gold under his country, Libya, before Obama and Hillary Clinton went in and did what they did. You're anti-black abroad and you're anti-black right here in America. You're a tether. Right back to Uncle Lock Lizard Luke. Lock Lizard Mouth Luke. You want to ask the question, how is Obama a tether? And he is. How is Kamala a tether? And she is. How are they tethers? And the Louis Farrakhan, the minister, Louis Farrakhan, is not. That's an easy one, Lock Lizard Mouth Luke. The minister, true, he does not share the same lineage as myself and he. We don't have the same lineage. The 44.5 million black Americans, the non-black immigrants of America, no, they don't share the same lineage as Louis Farrakhan. But I want to bring him to the conversation to show you, you don't have to be a part of the non-immigrant or the black non-immigrant or the lineage of freedmen to be our brother, to be our sister. Muammar Gaddafi was our brother in the black diaspora. Louis Farrakhan is our brother in the black diaspora. Louis Farrakhan is more black than most people throughout the whole entire black diaspora, including black America. That's Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan was taught by a foundational black American or a black non-immigrant in that of Elijah Muhammad. Louis Farrakhan is a pro-reparationist. He has helped to create a nation within America mimicking the Reconstruction time period, following the teachings of his master, of his teacher, Elijah Muhammad, until that reparation movement is secure. But you can never fault the minister, Farrakhan, for being a tether, Luke. Understand? That he's not. And to answer my point, the minister was working with Gaddafi. You understand? Farrakhan was working with Gaddafi to bring back economic chicken, goods, baked goods, money, cheese. Bring it all back to Black America. That's Farrakhan's intention. That was what Gaddafi was working on that. Farrakhan and Gaddafi were brothers. They was like this. Farrakhan and Gaddafi were brothers. They was like this. What do you need, Lewis? I need such and such money here. I need such and such money there. Done. That's how much money the Muammar Gaddafi had, and that's how pro-black he was. But then here comes this LGBTQ Democratic devil tether, slithering his big-eared, berry way throughout bathhouses into the ear of Mr. Muammar Gaddafi. Shout out to Lord Mill. Big-eared Barry. Shout out to Lord Mill. He is now in the ear of Gaddafi. He's saying we can progress. I'm the son of Africa. Now I'm the president of America. Let's do something, brother. Farrakhan was like, whatever you do, Gaddafi, please don't, brother. Please, brother. This is Farrakhan talking to Gaddafi now. Please don't disarm yourself with those nukes. Please don't denuclearify yourself. Please don't do that, my brother. Don't give up your nukes. Yeah. Obama, with his gift of gab, bewitched Gaddafi. Next thing you know, he and Hillary Clinton are at Gaddafi's door, and it's assassination time. Are you following me? They were fearful that Gaddafi was going to create a currency, a stream of money, which was going to be backed by gold bullion, which was found in the country of Libya. He had enough money to back this gold bullion and unify the African countries. NATO, the Wicked West, and America heard of this. This was a terroristic economic threat unto their currency, fiat currency, which is backed by paper money. They heard this, they sent out, and they got Gaddafi. That's how that went down. So now I'm hearing Obama come out 10 years later talking to Black Americans after he done killed the black man. That's why he's a tether. Because he's anti-black, not just with Americans, he's anti-black throughout the diaspora. Understand? He killed the African of Africans, and that of Muammar Gaddafi. He killed an African of Africans, and that of Muammar Gaddafi. This is Barack Hussein Obama. Now you come here to Black America talking to black men about what we need to do to support this brown Brahmin bedwedge who is systematically putting bodies on top of bodies in the black cities of America, seemingly to, or allegedly to, gentrify through disintegration. Understand? This is why Obama has no leg to stand on. You said something out of your mouth, Barack. This is not a sign of strength to go with the person with the bravado that we should support the woman. First of all, we already clarified this. Kamala's not black, Barack. And even if she does have a few drops of melanin in her skin, she and I don't share the same lineage, just like you and I don't share the same lineage, sir. We have different ancestors in this realm. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So now with all that being said, I'm going to say, no, she's probably not going to win this race. Why? Most likely because of you, Obama. See, Black America from 10 years have woken themselves up. They have different outlets of information. They are beginning to understand that you and I are not of the same line of ancestors. They're understanding that you are more of a visitor, a foreigner unto us. We gave you a pass because of your black skin and your black wife and your black children. We gave you a pass. But you turned around in typical tether fashion and undermined us. So rather than allow that to replay again, we're checking paperwork now. And we're checking it for Kamala. Understand? Now, I could talk about Candace Owens, another tether, and how she's actually the one bringing a lot of these hard receipts against the tether Kamala. It's a tether war going on. It's a tug-on-tug tether war going on. But I did not think for the life of me that you, of all people, would step foot at the door of the black community, knowing what you did to Gaddafi, knowing what you did against the black Americans, sir. If my words sound strong, then let them sound strong. I will have these pre-recorded videos. I will debate anyone on these topics live, anywhere, anytime. I stand on it. I'll put $1,000 on it. I'll put $100 grand on it. I'm not even a gambling man, but I stand. But I stand. You will not call out the black community. I rebuke you, I refute you, I juice you. I will bring the truth to you. You will not call out the black community, particularly black men, while I'm still standing. I got breath, I got a camera, I got electricity, I got a microphone. I'm so happy to see on TikTok videos and YouTube videos, the majority of the people are basically saying 2 words right back to you, Barack. And they were this.